Arsene Wenger's farewell tour continued, with the latest destination being the Wanda Metropolitano in Madrid, Spain. Europa League semi-final second leg offered the perfect opportunity for La Professor to set up the fairy tale ending his tenure deserves by qualifying for a European final in his home country. However, Los Rojiblancos had other plans, and in all honesty, from a gunner's point of view, the damage was done in the first leg when a lapse in concentration gifted the La Liga side an invaluable away goal just 8 minutes from time. Arsenal made 8 changes from the side that started up at Old Trafford on Sunday, but were rocked early on when skipper Laurent Koscielny suffered an Achilles injury, putting his World Cup participation in doubt. It's difficult to see how the centre-half will ever recover from what looks to be a major injury setback. The player's fitness struggles have been well documented of late, and my gut feeling is this could spell the end for him. The Frenchman was subsequently stretchered off, and I found myself cursing our luck, but in fairness to Callum Chambers, he filled in brilliantly and was arguably our best player on the night. If truth be told, Arsenal seemed fairly comfortable up until the stroke of half-time, when a lapse in concentration allowed Diego Costa to pull wide undetected, escape the attentions of Hector Bellerin, and eventually lift the ball over David Ospina, who seemed overly eager to hit the ground. The Spanish right-back's form has been a subject of debate throughout the season. We've seen far too many defensive errors, and many feel frustrated at his reluctance to take on a player and whip a crossing, something he was renowned for in seasons gone by. In the aftermath, the criticism of the team's overall performance, in my opinion, has been excessive. Similarly to last week, we controlled possession for large periods, defended well for the most part, but lacked that killer instinct in front of goal. That's simply down to a lack of quality in key areas on the pitch. This current crop are evidently below the standard required to compete with Europe's elite, and so this was always going to be an uphill struggle. Perhaps things could have been different had we taken our chances at the Emirates, or if our defence stayed switched on for a game in its entirety, but it's all just ifs and buts. Atletico certainly aren't the continent's most technically gifted outfit, but what they are is streetwise, well drilled and passionate about what they do. Those very qualities have equipped them to compete with the likes of Real Madrid and Barcelona for quite some time now. The job Diego Simeone's done there should be admired. Top quality players finish when it counts, defend when it matters, and concentrate hard when things get tough. If these two fixtures have taught me anything, it's that the mental side of the game should never be overlooked. It can be just as decisive. I guess in the depths of my heart I expected elimination the minute the draw was made, but taking into account this is to be Arsene Wenger's last season, I hoped maybe, just maybe, the players would find that extra level and repay him for the faith he's shown in them. There are numerous players in that squad who owe their entire careers to this manager, because at any other club they'd have been exposed for the fraudsters they are. The likes of Bellerin, Welbeck and even Mesut Ozil to an extent have been stealing a living at the top level for a number of seasons now, hiding behind the broad shoulders of the boss. In years gone by, I've called the Europa League a Mickey Mouse trophy, labelled it as second rate, and accused UEFA of exaggerating its value in order to generate the mass TV audiences that would line the organisation's pockets. Am I as distraught as I was when we crashed out of the Champions League semi-final, say in 2009 for example? Not at all. This feels totally different. The disappointment is overclouded by a deep sadness that stems from my desire to see Arsene go out on a high. Unfortunately, it wasn't meant to be. Our greatest ever manager's reign will end in tatters, and that's hard to swallow, but our fall from grace has been a gradual glide as opposed to a sudden crash. It's been a wonderful story full of ups and downs. We'll look back on his tenure with fondness in years to come, I'm sure, but all great things come to a conclusion. Arsene Wenger, the end.